Hello, everyone, welcome back to the channel, Global Times USA. Please subscribe and like my videos. Today, we are diving into one of the most shocking developments in the Russia-Ukraine conflict, a moment that has reverberated across the globe and captured the attention of military analysts, political leaders, and ordinary people everywhere. Ukrainian drones have reportedly struck Moscow city towers, a $1.2 billion landmark symbolizing Russia's economic and technological power. At the same time, the presence and response of U.S. Navy forces have shaken the global stage, reminding the world that this is no longer just a regional conflict, but a confrontation with worldwide implications. When we talk about Moscow city towers, it's important to understand what this complex represents. These are not just glass and steel skyscrapers towering over the Russian capital. They are icons of wealth, symbols of economic stability, and a projection of power. For years, Moscow has showcased these towers as proof that Russia could not only compete with the Western world economically, but also surpass expectations with architecture and design. The striking exterior, with its reflective glass and futuristic angles, was designed to communicate both elegance and resilience. The towers have hosted global businesses, luxury residences, and cultural activities. They are to Moscow what Wall Street is to New York or Canary Wharf is to London, a heart of modern urban development. And then came the drones. Reports of Ukrainian UAVs striking this glittering symbol stunned not only Russia but the entire world. The attack demonstrated not just a new level of Ukrainian capability, but also a symbolic blow. If the Russian people believed that Moscow was untouchable, that their capital was beyond the reach of this war, the drone strike shattered that illusion. The exterior of the towers, once admired for its sleek reflective surfaces and dazzling nighttime lighting, became a canvas for destruction. Damaged glass panels, smoke rising against the skyline, and emergency crews rushing to contain the aftermath painted a very different picture. Suddenly, the exterior was not a symbol of wealth, but a reminder of vulnerability. But beyond the outer appearance lies the interior. And this is where the story gets even more compelling. Inside the Moscow city towers are some of Russia's most important businesses, offices, and financial institutions. The interiors were designed with luxury in mind, high-end finishes, grand lobbies, and state-of-the-art technology. These interiors symbolized progress and the promise of a modern Russia integrated with the global economy. They were designed to be secure, efficient, and inspiring. But what happens when war enters that interior space? The drone strike forced evacuations, left employees terrified, and disrupted the flow of daily operations. Imagine the psychological effect of sitting in a polished glass, walled office overlooking the Moscow skyline, only to hear the sudden impact of an unmanned aerial vehicle crashing into the structure. The Ukrainian strike did not just damage a building, it struck the heart of Russia's sense of security. This is where performance becomes important. Ukrainian drones, once considered modest tools of resistance, have demonstrated staggering performance levels in recent months. The ability to bypass Russian air defenses and strike such a heavily protected target in Moscow indicates precision, endurance, and intelligence coordination at levels few thought Ukraine could achieve. These drones are not just cheap devices cobbled together in workshops. They are now advanced weapons platforms with remarkable range and accuracy. Their performance is reshaping the battlefield and forcing Russia to rethink its air defense strategy. Performance also ties into the role of the U.S. Navy. For months, Western nations have been providing Ukraine with intelligence, equipment, and logistical support. But the increasing involvement of U.S. naval forces sends a powerful message. It signals deterrence. It signals that the United States is not merely an observer, but a player ensuring that Ukraine has the capacity to strike where it hurts Russia most. Naval forces are often viewed as symbols of projection, able to influence not only coastal regions but entire geopolitical landscapes. The performance of the U.S. Navy, whether in intelligence sharing, supply routes, or deterrence maneuvers, adds an entirely new dimension to this conflict. Safety features are a critical point when evaluating this shocking event. Moscow's city towers were designed with advanced safety mechanisms, fire suppression systems, reinforced structures, and evacuation protocols. And yet, the attack revealed that no safety system can fully protect against modern warfare. The buildings were not designed to withstand drones as weapons. Their safety was engineered for fires, earthquakes, or accidents, not deliberate military strikes. This is a sobering reality for every major city in the world. If one of the most secure and advanced complexes in Russia can be hit by drones, what does that mean for the safety of New York, London, or Beijing? Suddenly, safety is not just about engineering, but about geopolitics, defense systems, and resilience in a world where urban warfare is becoming a terrifying possibility. The unique selling points of this event, if we can phrase it that way, are extraordinary. For Ukraine, the strike demonstrated ingenuity, courage, and capability. The ability to hit a $1.2 billion symbol of Russian prestige showed the world that Ukraine is not simply defending itself passively, but taking the fight to the heart of Russia. For Russia, the event revealed a weakness that few wanted to acknowledge publicly. The capital is not invincible. The unique point here is that the battleground has shifted. No longer confined to the front lines in Donetsk or Kharkiv, the war has reached Moscow itself. For the U.S. Navy, the selling point is deterrence and global influence. By being visibly and strategically involved, the U.S. sends a signal to both allies and adversaries. American power is not fading, and its commitment to Ukraine is stronger than ever. And then comes the question of price. What is the cost of this strike? On one hand, we can calculate the monetary damage. The towers themselves cost $1.2 billion to build, and repairs could run into hundreds of millions. Insurance companies, investors, and tenants will bear huge costs, but the real price is psychological and geopolitical. The strike has shaken Russian confidence, unsettled Moscow's elite, and sent shockwaves through global markets. For Ukraine, the price was the investment in drone technology, the risk of escalation, and the danger of retaliation. For the United States and NATO, the price is the risk of being drawn deeper into a conflict that could spiral beyond control. As we conclude this review of one of the most dramatic moments in modern conflict, we must recognize the implications. This was not just a strike on a building. It was a strike on symbols, psychology, and security. The exterior of the Moscow city towers, once gleaming with prosperity, now carries scars of war. The interior, once safe and luxurious, became a space of fear and chaos. The performance of Ukrainian drones has been elevated from modest tools to strategic game changers. The safety features of urban icons have been revealed as inadequate in the face of modern conflict. The unique selling points of each player, Ukraine's daring, Russia's vulnerability, and America's deterrence, have been on display. And the price, measured in billions and in psychological trauma, is far greater than any one nation can bear alone. The world is watching closely. The question now is not just about who wins the next battle, but about what kind of world we are entering. A world where skyscrapers can become battlegrounds, where drones can pierce through the heart of capitals, and where global superpowers are drawn ever closer to confrontation. Ukraine's strike on Moscow's $1.2 billion towers is a warning, a message, and perhaps a turning point in history. What comes next will depend on the choices of leaders, the resilience of nations, and the courage of ordinary people. But one thing is clear: the world will never look at Moscow city towers, or at the safety of its own cities, the same way again.